Hello friends, welcome to my channel KBS Technocraft and Python tutorial day 2. I hope you had a chance to check out my previous tutorials for day 1 and you have installed the Python and editor for coding exercise. If not, then I would request you to please go through that. You can find the link in description. Day 1 tutorials covers a lot of important information for Python development environment setup and basic of Python that could be useful to you as prerequisite for these tutorials. Today we are going to learn conditional statement. There are four different kind of conditional statements are there in Python: if statement, if else statement, if else statement, nested. Now we will create a folder structure for local code repository to do our exercises. So let's say consider we want to create a folder where we want to write the code, and that folder name we want to give it like conditional statement. So what we have to do, wherever you want to create it, you just type take directory this and then cd conditional statement, and then to open this folder what you have to do, you have to type code dot, it will open that particular folder into the Visual Studio Code. Now Visual Studio is open and it's open that particular folder. I have created a file called conditional statement. I just put a print with the message called test message, and I am just trying to see that this particular code is executing. So I can see this particular code is executing. I'm able to get this message. That means the environment setup is done. Now, before we proceed on exercise, I would like to discuss on what is the conditional statement. In Python, conditional statements are used to execute certain code based on a particular condition. The most common conditional statement in the Python is if-else. The if-else statement allows you to execute a block of code if a condition is true. For example, let's say consider we will try to check a number is greater than 0 or not. That means a number is positive or negative. So let's say consider I created a number x equal to, let me give a number equal to 10. If x is greater than 0, then print x is positive. Okay, so if you see here, if I put this in same intonation, I am able to get the error. So what we have to do, we have to put one space here, and then you will be able to see that issue is got now. So I will run it. You can see that here you will be able to see the result. I will try to explore it here. Result. Okay, here it should be number. So it's a number, and then we can put message number is positive. So you can see number is positive. If I make it here -1, you will not able to see that statement because that condition is not getting true and the statement is not getting executed. Now let's say consider if you want to mention if that particular number is positive or negative. So that means if the condition is true, then you want to display positive, and if the condition is false, that means you want to display negative. So how do you add that code? So to do that, we will put here else. So I'll put else this, and I will try to put copy this, and then put number is negative. Now if I run it, since number I have given -1, then in that case, you can see that the result is coming, number is negative. Let's say consider if I give number 1, that means it's greater than 0, and if I run it, then you will be able to see the result is number is positive. So these are the example of if and if else. Now we'll move to the next example where we are going to use the if else statement. For example, let's say consider we want to check, in same example we want to check if number is positive, negative or 0. So in that case what we can do, we can type this. So what I have done is I have mentioned one if condition where if x is less than 0, I am printing the x is negative. If x is exactly equal to 0, then we are trying to print x is 0. If x is positive, then we are displaying x is positive. So let's say consider this, and I will just clear the result so that it will be more readable, and then I will run this. So if you see, if I put x equal to 5, then it's displaying x is positive. Let's say consider if I make it x equal to -1 and run it, I can see x is negative. If I will try to put x equal to 0, then you will be able to see this display x equal to 0. Now we will see the next nested statement. So let's say consider if you have a scenario where you want to check if x is greater than 0, and also you want to check whether this particular number is even or odd. So let's say consider we have a number called x, and we want to check x is greater than 0 and x, if you see here, x is greater than 0 and x modulus 2 equal to 0. In that case, this is the even number. If modulus 2 is not equal to 0, that means it's odd number. So let me run this code. Now you can see the result is displaying x is positive and odd number. Now let's say type couple of more example and try to understand. So let's say consider you want to write a program where instead of hard coding those values, I want to check the number which is provided by the end user is even or odd. So what we can do, this is the statement where we are taking the input from the user, and then we are checking if modulus division is equal to 0, then it's even, otherwise odd. So let's run this code. When you run this code, you will be able to see enter a number. Let's say consider I am giving 10 and press on enter. So it's displaying the number is 7. Let's say consider if I run it once again and give a value as 11, then it's mentioning that odd. Okay, so I hope you understand if else condition. We will take one more example and we'll try to see that, and then we'll move to next. So let's say consider you want to write a program where when a user enters the age value, and based on that you are going to decide, or based on your logic you want to decide it that whether this particular user is eligible for voting or not. So in that case what we have done it here in this code, we are checking if age of the user or the provided age is greater or equal to 18. In that case that particular is allowed to vote, otherwise it's not. So let me clear this and we will run it this. So I clear it and I will run this code. So let's say consider first I will try to test negative. That means I will pass 17 and I will test it. Then you are not able, eligible for vote. Now I will rerun once again. I will pass 20 and then you will be able to see that you are eligible to vote. So I think I cover all the conditional statement here. Thank you so much for watching.